Hey Autel Nation, welcome back. It's been a while, but I'm still here. Before we proceed, I just want to share with you a little food for thought that I subscribe to and that I also encourage my clients as well. Basically, whatever you do with your hands, do it to the best of your capability, okay? Do it with all of your might. We have a fantastic tool here. It can do a lot of stuff, but for whatever reason, some of us are shying away work. We're not confident to do it. So what I wanted to do is I want to show you another high value skill set, but I'm going to simplify it so that can probably give you the confidence to, maybe you can help people, because this is probably about a 45-minute procedure. But your client's going to be delighted because you're going to save him or her a lot of money, and the reward is very good. To do this particular procedure, you can charge between $300 to $500 easily. Okay, so the car we're going to be focusing on and what I'm going to be teaching you is a BMW 320i 2013 and we're going to add a key with the IM608. Got it? So, for those of you who don't know, welcome to my channel. My name is Curtis Harden. I'm an Autel Diagnostic Consultant. And what I do is I sell the tool, and the clients I sell to, I render the over-the-shoulder training results that you're going to be seeing in this presentation. Okay? Now, this is what you're going to learn by the end of this presentation. You're going to know exactly what equipment you're going to need to do this procedure. We're going to define what the FEM and BDC module means and its differences, and then we're going to review its location and the components inside of the BMW FEM BDC module. We're going to cover some of the precautions we're going to need to know before adding a key, and then lastly, step-by-step procedures on how to add a key with the IM608. Okay, so if you're a beginner, this is going to be great because I break it down where a 10-year-old will be able to understand. Okay, now we're going to need the IM608, your XP400 serial programmer, your BMW FEM BDC Test Platform. All right, then we're going to need your existing smart key, which is going to be represented in blue, and we're going to need your blank smart key. Got it? So, few things before we start. This is an advanced level procedure, okay? The higher the risk, the higher the reward, but I'm gonna make it simplified so you guys can see it's not that difficult. Got it? Next, only the F chassis are supported, okay? The newer G chassis on the BMWs do have FEM, but the coding procedure is slightly different. All right. Check first to see if any keys have been added before. Okay. This way, we don't have to waste any time to do the procedure. If keys have been added before, you can go to the IM608, go to the add key function and add the key. Pick the key slot, then add the key. If not, if no keys have ever been added, what we're going to have to do is remove the FEM module from the vehicle. Okay, FEM stands for Front Electronic Module. BDC stands for Body Domain Controller. Okay, this is basically the body control module that controls the windows, the radio, and so forth. Okay, the lights and so forth. Now, once we have that FEM on our bench, we need to do a procedure called jailbreaking, which we can do with the IM608. This only needs to be done one time. After we jailbreak that module, we can add on keys. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say I have a client. He came to me, Curt, I want a key. I jailbreak the unit, go through the sequence, add the key. A year later, Curt, I lost my key. Can I get another one? I don't need to take out the FEM module anymore. I can just take a new key, take the IM608, and go straight to the add key function. Okay? Next, we're going to be using the smart mode option on here, okay? So for those of you who don't know, smart mode is basically a guided sequence of instructions. So it has everything planned out for you. Like, you don't need to guess, oh, do I need to back up this? Do I have to do this? It kind of lays that foundation and you just have to follow the prompts. We do have an expert mode that gives you more options that you can do, but you would have to have this whole process memorized. So I'd recommend, just for the sake of simplicity, to use the smart mode. And then adding the key can be done via bench or OBD. So we're using the key simulator. So we're going to be doing everything on the bench, okay? Now, here's the location of the Fem module. You can see it's right here, okay? And then before we take out the module, disconnect the negative battery terminal. That's all you need to do, not the positive, the negative battery terminal. Very important. After that, you're going to see on the right passenger side, that's kind of where the Fem is located. All right, so once we take this off, what I want you to do is pay attention right here, right there, because there's going to be some writing there that's kind of embedded onto the cover. We're going to need this later on. We need to know, it says connection 7, connection 8. We're going to need to know this later on to complete the connections with our test programmer, okay? The next step I want you to do is take a picture of the fuses, because once we take off everything, we have to put it all back together, and if we have this, we know exactly where to put it back, okay? So I'm going to pull off the case, and right here you're going to see the Eprom position, okay? Now, if it's an FEM system, the chip will be labeled M95128. M95128. If it's a BDC system, it's going to be an M95256, okay? Now, you can see the numbers on the chip by using a varnish removal ointment with a fiberglass pen to clean it off, okay? And make sure you clean this thoroughly so you can get a good, secure read, okay? Now, what I want to do, because I looked online, and when people are doing this procedure, it looks like the Matrix. There's a bunch of wires everywhere, so I wanted to give you an overhead view on how to properly connect it, okay? So here we have your BMW Fem BDC Test Platform. Here is where the J2534 will connect to the OBD port there. And then we have your serial programmer, the XP400, and we'll have the IM608 connected via USB, okay? So let's take a closer look at what these equipment can do. So right here is the BMW Test Platform, or Test Key Simulator. Now, what this basically does is it simulates the vehicle. So if we didn't have this, there's going to be multiple times we have to run back and forth from the bench to the car, from the bench to the car, and it just takes a longer time to do. With this, it's like the car is right there with us. You can even purchase this with an accessory that's a dashboard, okay? And you can see there's your on and off button, okay? If you want to power the unit off, there's your start and stop button. There is at the bottom here, that's where you can, if you purchase the dash option, you can connect your dash there so you can get your dash lights. There's COM 7, COM 8, and there's your power cable if you want to plug it into your wall. It simulates the car basically. Now, if we move down further, you can see here, there's the ignition coil. So there's going to be a sequence when we're doing the procedure. It's going to tell us to put our working key and new key into this coil, okay? And that's what that does there. And if we look further, here's where the connection 7 and 8 will be, and that's why I told you to make a mental note of that so you'll know where to connect it. All right, and then we have the XP400, and the cable we're going to be using, I want you to pay attention to this red line here, okay? It's going to be needed in order to connect to the Eprom. Now, the cable we're using is the APA103, and this will clamp right on to the Eprom like this. Okay, so that's your basic layout. Now, let's go ahead and do the procedure. We got everything prepared, connected. Now we're going to get the IM608 and identify the vehicle. Okay, we can click BMW. All right, and then we're going to do the smart mode option that will automatically take us through the steps. Okay, so the first process it's doing is just reviewing the FEM system and all the important EMO related modules. Okay, and then once that's done, it's at 75, we're going to click OK, and then we're going to click Key Learning. Right here, key learning. All right, attention, this process requires network data networking to obtain data. So just make sure you have a strong internet connection connected at this point. Okay, we're gonna click OK, and then it's gonna give us a summary of the vehicle information. So you can see the model series, you can see the VIN number, the mileage, all those things, and some technobabble here. Okay, so we're going to click OK, and the first thing it's doing is backing up the coding. Very important. All right, and as I said, we didn't have to know this because the smart option will basically do it all for us. Okay, so going to modify Eprom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click diagram here, okay, just to see what the connection is. We need to identify if it's a BMW FEM system or BDC system. So it says here the FEM will have the M95-128, okay? And if we scroll down, the BDC will have the M95-256. That's the only difference, guys, between the two, from what I understand. It's just that Eprom chip. That's the only difference, okay? Now, if we scroll down here, this is a representation of the chip. So let me give you an example. Let's say my knuckles here is the chip. Now the chip has like legs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that cable that had that red line, the APA103, had that red marker on it, that means that needs to go on position 1, which is right here. Okay, that's how you'll know how to connect it. That's the Eprom position. Okay, and here's just another method. If you can't get a good read on the clamp, we can desolder it, put it on here, and put it on the XP400. But we're just going to be using the clamping method. No soldering is going to be required for this procedure. Okay, so we're going to get the key simulator. We're going to turn the power off. Then we're going to clamp the APA103 onto the chip. Now make sure at this point it's clean so you can get a very good read. Okay, next click OK, and we're gonna let the Autel do its thing. Alright, so it's backing Eprom data automatically. Alright, we'll let it wait till it gets to the 100%. Okay, so this is where the file is going to be backed up. You can see auto backup. Alright, and then Eprom chip has been successfully. So now take off the chip, okay, and then turn the power on your key simulator back on. Okay, so after you do that, we're going to click OK. Alright, we have another set of prompts. The program is about to start. Make sure the voltage is blah, 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 blah. And these are just some conditions that need to be met. We're gonna click OK. Let it do its thing. Alright, files downloading will start soon. So we have a couple prompts. And there you go. And let the Autel do its thing. Establishing vehicle communication. Alright. So now it's going to start the programming. Sorry, so there's our status bar. Now, this is kind of the longest part of the whole procedure. This is going to take a nice chunk of your time doing this. I just sped it up for this presentation's sake, okay? But after when this is done, what we're gonna do is, okay, so turn the power off on your serial programmer, or on your serial simulator, you know what I'm talking about, the BMW Test Platform. Turn the power off, put the clamp on the chip securely, okay? And then we're gonna proceed. All right, so we're storing Eprom data automatically. All right, so that's done. Okay, so we're gonna take the clamp off, okay? Turn the power back on the key simulator. And then after we do that, we're gonna press OK. Okay, the restoration of coding file is about to start. So we're gonna click OK. All right, we're gonna let it do its thing. Restoring files, please wait. All right, 90%. All right, so now we're going to go to the key learning process. We're going to click OK. Okay, before the key can be written and cleared, the password must be read out first. Okay, then it says before the key can be written and cleared, the corresponding key position must be selected first. So in plain English, guys, it needs to get, I guess, the ISN number. And since we have an existing key, it's going to extract that data, all that data, from the existing key. Then it's telling us we just need to select an empty key slot, okay? Now, if you're doing an all keys lost scenario, you're not gonna have any keys to get that data. At that point, what you're gonna need to do is get the ISN via the DME module or the ECU, and you can use the Gbox2 to get that data. Okay, so let's click OK. We're gonna click OK, and you can see here we have our key slots. All right, the first thing we need to do is get that data. So we're gonna read the password. Do we have a working key? Yes, we do. We're going to click yes. So we're going to take the working key, we're going to put it into the ignition coil on the key simulator, and after we do that, we're going to press yes. Okay, and then the Autel is going to pull up all of its data. There's the ISN, there's the DME cast password. All that information has been presented to us. So now we can go back and actually add the key. So let's select the key slot, just like the instruction told us, and click write key. All right, so now we're gonna get the new key, okay? We're gonna put it into the ignition coil, and after we do that, we simply click OK. Okay, key learning has 4 steps, please wait. So right now, we're just letting the Autel do its thing, okay? And I tell people this, if you have a finger and you can read, you can code. There's no reason why you guys can't do this. No reason why, okay? So let's just let the thing do its thing. Okay, right key successful. Put the key close to the ignition coil. So on the key simulator, you can leave it there. Hold the ignition for 10 seconds after the learning is complete. The key can be used normally, okay? And that's it, guys. You have successfully added the key, okay? So, things to remember. Disconnect the negative battery terminal before you even start taking out the module. Second, check to see if the FEM has been jailbroken before by looking to see if any keys were added onto the system. If they previously have been added on, we don't need to jailbreak anything. We can just simply add the key. Third, remember to remove the FEM system to jailbreak it. We only need to do this one time for that vehicle, okay? Purchase the BMW FEM BDC Test Platform stimulator to save time and effort, okay? They cost about $90. I can throw them in my kit if when we do the tool strategy, but it's gonna save you guys a lot of time and effort, okay? The ISIN needs to be retrieved via working key or ECU if you're doing an all keys loss. So whatever procedure you do, ISIN needs to be identified. And lastly, make sure you clean the Eprom chip well to get a good, solid read. Okay, well, congratulations, guys. That's it. I hope you learned a lot. As I said, I tried to break it down to where like a 10-year-old can understand it. Okay, so if you would like for me to represent you, go to my website, book the consult. We'll get the tool strategy. I'll know everything about yourself. And then from there, I can help you get the results you need to help your customers and put some food on the table. Okay? So with that, I'll see you guys in the next presentation and have a great week. Take care. Bye.